it's Kristen with Create Kids Couture, and today we're going to show you 3 different ways that you can shorten a separating zipper. Now, a separating zipper is one that you would use on a coat where it unzips all of the way and opens up, and then you attach it back on and it zips up. Now, if you need a zipper length that's not an exact one you find at the store, you can shorten it to any length that you want it to be. And like I said, there's 3 different ways to do it. The first one that I'm going to show you is the one that I do most often just because it only takes a sewing machine. And so I will show you how to do that real quick. So what you do is first you want to mark exactly where you want your zipper to end. You'll do the same thing on both. You see here I marked it with white. Now what we're going to do is sew a zigzag stitch across it. And you call this a bar tack, and what it is, we're actually just going to sew back and forth that direction until it forms a stopper, because what you don't want to have happen is, you don't want to zip this up and have it fall off. So we need to make a stopper right there. So what I'm going to do first is these little things here are called the feed dogs. It's what pulls your fabric through. Now we don't want the zipper to be pulled through because we want to just sew back and forth in one spot. So somewhere on your machine you can lower your feed dogs. Mine is back here, so watch as they fall. See, I put those down. They're not there anymore. So what we do here is just put your zipper centered right in the middle. I'm going to hand over the camera. Alright, now I have 2 hands. You're going to center your zipper right there so that the needle's pointing right down at it. Now you don't want to sew with it there, it'll break your needle, of course. So we're going to set our settings over here to my zigzag stitch, and you want to put it as wide as possible, and then your stitch length as low as possible. Now that won't really be affected with our feed dogs down, but if you can't figure out how to lower your feed dogs, put your stitch as low as possible and then try to make it work. Okay, so here we are back at here. I made my zigzag as wide as it will go. So it's going to straddle. It'll go on one side and then the other side. So I'm going to hold my threads and just start sewing. And it'll go right back and forth and back and forth. And you want to do that just a bunch of times, and it's gonna build up kind of a little mound of threads. This is called a bar tack. And once you get it lifted up so that it's kind of blocking those zippers, normally I would do a little bit more than that, but I'm not going to go back. Once you can see that it's covering up the zippers, you would do that on both sides, and then you can see if I try to zip it past that, it stops my zipper. So the reason we do that is if you shorten your zipper, you don't want the stopper to come off. So now after I've done that on both sides and make it look nice, you want it to look as nice as it can, of course, then you can take your scissors and cut right between the teeth. On plastic, sometimes you can cut just the teeth right off. Metal, you kind of have to cut between them and maybe pull away with the pliers. And then you're just ready to go. It's as if your zipper was short already. And now we have Nikki's husband who is going to show you the other 2 methods.
Hi, today we're going to show you how to measure and mark a separating zipper for shortening it. You're going to need something to measure with, and a zipper, and I use a marker because it makes it easy. And my wife needs this at 13 inches, so I get it down to the 13-inch mark. I mark these 2 teeth, make sure you get one on each side. Those are the ones we're going to pull off later. Now I'm going to show you how to shorten the zipper. The first thing we're going to do is remove the teeth that we marked and higher from that. You'll need a pair of needle nose pliers. And all you really have to do is just kind of grab and pull. But it takes a little effort. You're going to want to take out 2 or 3 of them so you have room to put your stoppers on. Make sure those go in the trash so nobody steps on them. That one doesn't want to come out. There we go. Okay, now we're going to take the stoppers off the end of the zipper, which is really a hassle because they're on there tight. And when you get that off, you get this cute little U shape. You actually have to spread that. And I usually use a knife, but for safety purposes, I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver. And what you're going to want to do, get it on there, wedge it in here, and push a little. And that will spread your U out so it's not quite so narrow. Then you'll put it right here where you took off your zippers, teeth. You take your pliers and you will just mash it as hard as you can, maybe harder. And there's your new zipper stop. Okay, now we're going to do a plastic zipper. You'll want to measure it the same way you did your metal one and mark your teeth. And then we're going to use a soldering iron and melt some pieces together. So, you see I have a tooth marked. And I have a soldering iron or a wood burner. This is actually classified as a wood burner. Here, what I'm going to do, it's hard to do with the camera facing me, is I'm just going to kind of melt it and push it over onto the other one and make sure they melt nice and flush. And that makes another stopper. So when that cools, your zipper won't be able to go past it. You want to make sure the back's pretty melted too. And it's not hard to get them to melt together. You just kind of smear it on there. It's hot enough, it'll melt the plastic quick and easy. Then after you've done that, you can take your cutter or a wood burner, just cut your fabric off, and you've got your zipper at the right length. Okay, it's done cooling. Now I can show you how well it stops. No problem. And when it's sewed in, you can just unzip it perfect and fine. Of course, you're going to want to do the other side too, because it'll look silly hanging out.
We hope that helps. Now you have 3 different techniques for shortening your zipper, and you're ready to do all kinds of coats and jackets and other things that use those kind of zippers.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe.